Hi everybody, welcome once again to TFT Tarot for Today, Divine Dabblings with Oberon and Banshee. And this is me, Oberon, with my show, The Emotional Exchanges. And it's designed specifically for those interested in their relationships, love or otherwise. I do a reading for each of the elemental signs of the zodiac. So I'm going to do air signs, fire signs, water signs, and earth signs. And of course, I'm asking some specific questions of the cards for you guys, like what emotion or feeling is coming to you at this time, why is this important, and where will it lead to? And I do that with the wonderful Modern Love tarot set by Ethany. It is perfect for using it for romantic or relationship-minded questions. So let's get started, and we'll work with the air signs, which are, of course, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So, as I said before, we are asking that question, what emotional essence, energy, vibration is coming to the air signs? And it's the Eight of Pentacles upright. And this says that working together, working with the plan, working as honest partners, we can realize what we're doing. And so that energy that's coming to you is realizing that you either have or are working to have a partnership. So I think this is working to the idea of you are maybe working close to being in a relationship with somebody where you really feel you mutually respect and can work with each other. You understand your strengths and balances, what it may take, to keep things going correctly. So what is the second card then? Why is this important at this time for this to be happening? And I like it when this happens. This card is almost always the perfect corollary to the Eight of Pentacles. It's in fact the Three of Pentacles. And it sort of talks about that idea that, we realize we really want to work strongly together to accomplish things, and that we want to be respected and known for being in charge of this process and being functional, being able to really do the work that's called for. And it is about maybe working within a team context or within a partnership context. So where will this lead to then? Ooh, I don't like that. It says it leads to the Three of Swords, which of course is not as good as the Three of Pentacles in this context. I wonder if I'm getting the clues wrong here. This just doesn't happen often, but this card seems to fly really in the face of that. But maybe what it is suggesting is that this partnership, this coming together, this work in progress, is about the eventuality of maybe something, bad happening in the relationship, and the idea of maybe understanding why you need to do this work, to have this proper work happen, because if you don't, the relationship is not on solid ground. So I think this is just a reminder. This is saying we want to avoid that by maybe investing in the work and investing in each other, however that's working. So now I'm going to do the affirmation for the air signs, and I use the Universal Love deck to give us that affirmation. And it's Guardian. At times we feel alone, even in the midst of company. The Guardian is here to assure you that you are never alone. You are loved more than you can possibly imagine. Notice the guardian angel in this image. The lady feels alone, yet she is not. An angel is close to you at the moment and wants you to know it. You may feel its presence throughout the coming days. Watch out for synchronicities. Perhaps it will be through a song you hear or through a falling leaf or feather. Keep an open heart and above all, trust. Remember, angels never intrude, though occasionally they may intervene if we are in danger. They illuminate our path and help us feel safe. You can call for their help at any time. If you have been pondering what path to take, remember your guardian angel will support and protect you regardless. Ultimately, there are no right or wrong decisions, only different experiences. Let go of apprehension and fear. Follow your heart and know you are always protected. And it rather goes along with the reading in a way, because maybe it is suggesting that you have to really do this work, that when this opportunity comes to you to, level up in some way, whether it's with your own, relationship or situation or moving towards a new one, there is always that chance, that something is going to not work out right. And so you need to know that, at this time, if you are working in good faith, good conscience, there is some sense of a guardian energy around you, protecting you from the worst of the heartbreak. All right. So now I'm going to move on to the fire signs. And fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. So this one is for you. Don't drop the cards. Mr. O, don't drop the cards. Don't bend them. Who does that sound like? Not me. So what is coming to the fire signs? What energy is coming to them? It's the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups says you may feel you have choices to make, especially romantically. You may feel that there's something going on that you need to be involved in. And I think what the real meaning of the card is suggesting is that this is a time for you to really look at what is being offered to you. What are the choices that you may feel are coming to you in relationships or pleasant situations? When you look at the card, you realize that there are different kinds of people in this image here. Which one do you want to be? Do you want to be the one who seems to be unconcerned about it all? Or the one that seems to be enjoying themselves? Or the one who's just trying to hide in some ways? This can be all of those potential situations about a relationship. And so you want to really consider, what is it you are trying to project at this time? It's not about choosing what you want. It may be about projecting what you want. So why is this important? Ace of Cups, reversed. It is important because you really want love. If love is not happening with you in a relationship for some reason, you want to try to reverse that. Or if it's about relationships that haven't happened yet or in their very nascent kind of beginnings, you want to also make sure that, things are going in the direction you want. So a lot of that depends equally upon what you choose and what you choose to project. You can reverse some slowness or some getting off on the wrong foot, but you may have to work hard at it. And so where will this ultimately lead to? It will lead to some peace. It will lead to realizing you are the one, realizing that someone else is the one. And so really it sort of takes you back here too, that, if we understand what we need to choose and how we need to choose to emphasize parts of ourselves, we will eventually come to the idea of standing out, of being able to be chosen by the person we think should like us or the person we hope likes us. All right, so I'm going to do the fire affirmation. And it's the gateway. Another G. Gee whiz. The gateway. A chapter in your life is coming to a close. Surrender it graciously and with love. Trust that all is held eternally within our hearts, and as the natural cycles of life take their course, remember that spring always follows winter. Time is a gateway. Allow its precious beauty to pour into your heart. If there is sadness at this time, remember as a new chapter unfolds, love guides all things. So it's a little off-putting in a way, because I think what it's saying is that not everything is permanent. And you can kind of see that in a way. The ace reversed definitely shows that. But even in the first card, there's the sense that maybe somebody is not necessarily being truthful to themselves or to others. And in the last card, of course, you are standing out to someone. So that's good. I'm just going to leave it at that. But consider those words. And now we're going to move on to the water signs. Water signs are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. They're the emotional ones, the ones that usually have to work on controlling or hiding them, whichever that may be. And of course, not all signs are exactly like you read in the book. There's a lot of nuance with any of the signs. Fire signs are not all hot-headed. Air signs are not all vapid. Those are only general indicators. So, water signs, what emotion or feeling is coming to you? Why is this important? And where will it ultimately lead to? And the feeling that's coming to you is that maybe something is over in terms of love and relationships. Maybe a pleasure you enjoyed, not necessarily a person, a situation, is over. It's done with for some reason. There's also the feeling here too that maybe somebody really needed it to end. It may be a stab in the back. It may be a total surprise that somebody didn't feel as connected to you as you thought they might have been. But the vibration of things ending, maybe on a very poor note, is coming to you. So why is that important? Because it probably always should have been that way. That this was a situation where neither person wanted to be the loser, and nobody can ever be the winner, and everyone else in between just gets sort of caught in the drama. You know, you see the children there of, arguing parents, most likely. So it seems to me like maybe a relationship has ended its natural lifespan or has unnaturally ended its lifespan. And there's a lot of collateral damage, people around you, the custody of the friends or whatever that is, pets. But nobody wins. All the swords are directed against the arguing couple. Neither of them are going to win in this. Why is this important to understand that? It's the Magician reversed. And where it leads to maybe saying, this was why it was important. Where it leads to is saying, you may not have the control you wanted to have in this situation. And that in fact, this dissolution and extreme bad acting of some sort perhaps, or the anger behind all that, the reason why it's important, the anger, the ferocity that's behind this is without a direct positive willful experience, that this is nothing that can really be helpful, and that you probably need to really move along as quietly as possible, whoever it is. Wow, water signs. I thought fire signs maybe were having some problems, or the air signs, but this is really, you're not going to be our winner this week, as Banshee would say. So looking ahead then at the affirmation for the water signs, I see forgiveness, and boy, that must be appropriate somehow, considering all of that. Kuan Yin, the goddess of compassion and mercy, walks with a fiery dragon at her feet. Yet she holds no fear. Kuan Yin's energy constantly radiates love, compassion, and mercy to all living things. These energies have tamed the dragon that now follows her with devotion. Kuan Yin has shown up in your reading to offer you her assistance. A situation in your life is in need of healing. The way to resolve this issue is through forgiveness. Show compassion and mercy towards all involved. Know that in forgiving, you are not necessarily condoning another's action. Forgiveness simply means that you are prepared to release yourself from ongoing negative attachment. Kuan Yin bestows her blessing. And yeah, I guess this is really saying that if there is this extreme, anger thing going on, fighting the possibility of, somebody really leaving with lots of drama and the feeling of regret and not being able to change things one way or the other, you have to forgive. And of course, at the top of that list is forgiving yourself for what you may have done, but also forgive others who maybe are at fault too. Forgive them and move on. All right. So we're finally moving on to the earth signs. Earth signs are Taurus, Virgo, and Gemini. Let's hope that they have a little bit better going on in their emotional fields. Earth signs, what is coming towards you in love or relationships? And it's the Ten of Wands reversed. There's a release going on here. That's something that maybe emotionally was really burdensome to you in some way, an outworn relationship of some sort, or things that you really enjoy doing, but now they're just burdens in some ways that you no longer enjoy doing them for some reason. But you are going to release that. That's what's coming to you, is release from emotional difficulties. Maybe you're breaking up with somebody. Maybe people are parting ways in friendship. Why is this important? It's the Ace of Wands. It was never going to work. You needed to realize that this thing was never going to grow. There's no growth, no flourishing. The Ace of Wands sort of says somebody maybe wasn't really strong enough, brave enough, charismatic enough, confident enough to change the course of that. And it's okay, because, like I said, there were just some burdens going on here, some things you needed to release. So where will this lead to now? It's the finality of the breakup, I suppose. The Lover's reversed. It's perhaps the idea that the realization you weren't right for each other, or the situation wasn't right for each other, and that you need to move on. You need to be very careful, though, that you don't fall into a rebound of any sort, or that you're just actually moving towards something else that you think is better for you but may not be. This could also be about the choices you make going forward. So you better watch that. So now for the Earth affirmation, and then we are done. And its relationship. Are you struggling to find a truly loving and meaningful relationship? If so, then look at the relationship you have with yourself. Our external relationships simply mirror the relationship we have with ourselves. What is lacking in your relationship with others is often lacking in your relationship with you. Learn to truly love yourself. This is vital if you are to give true meaning to your life. Be loving and honest with yourself and watch your relationship with others transform. And I think that's pretty nice. It's talking about the idea that this may be a time for you to be alone and not in a relationship, that maybe you need to learn how to appreciate yourself and be strong enough to be unto yourself. That a lot of times for some people, a relationship is also because of our codependencies, and that sometimes society or other things tell us that we're not complete unless we're in a relationship. And so sometimes people seek relationships that are basically under false pretenses because they want beauty in their lives, they want security, but they don't necessarily really want a real relationship. It's a lot harder than that, but that's what I'm going to leave it at for the earth signs, and by extension the rest of us. It was a little rough there with the water signs and the earth signs in a way, so I think they're both kind of tied for not doing as well this week. But hey, next week is always another chance to try again on the relationship wheel, on what's important emotionally speaking. So namaste to everyone. I wish you well in your emotional journeys. I'll see you next time.